Tibetan Buddhism, the world's endless mystery religion. Coming from a rugged location and almost isolated from the rest, Tibetan Buddhism has maintained its own identity for thousands of years. When traveling in Tibet, tourists will certainly see Tibetan religious symbols everywhere, such as prayer wheels in the hands of local Tibetans, and prayer flags flying or lamas wearing red robes. Tibetan Buddhism. The Untold Things will reveal information about one of the most influential religions in the world today, and you will surely be extremely surprised by its interesting secrets. Let's start exploring with us in this video. Maybe you don't know, but long before Buddhism was introduced to Tibet, Bon religion was spread and was the spiritual belief of the people living here. When King Songtsen Gampo married Nepali Princess Brikuti Devi and Princess Wencheng from the Tang dynasty in the mid-7th century, Buddhism was spread to Tibet from India, Nepal, and China. Jokang Pagoda and Ramoche Pagoda were also built to worship Buddha statues brought by these two princesses. King Songtsen Gampo also sent scholars to India to study Buddhism. Several books on Buddhism have been translated into Tibetan. This has promoted the growth of this religion in the most rugged area of China. During the reign of King Trisong Detsen, Santaraksita and Padmasambhava were invited to Tibet. Both, along with King Trisong Detsen, took many actions to develop Buddhism here, supporting books related to Buddhism, building Sami Monastery, and establishing the Sangha system. After that, a number of monks from India were also hired to translate Buddhist books into Tibetan. When Buddhism was still developing and accelerating, King Langdharma ascended the throne. King Langdharma believed in Bon religion and carried out cruel actions to suppress the rise of Buddhism, banning the translation of Buddhist scriptures, burning scriptures, and destroying pagodas. Because of this king's harsh opposition to Buddhism, many monks had to flee abroad. This period is often called the Langdharma persecution of Buddhists in Tibetan history. By the end of the 10th century, Buddhism began to recover in Tibet, mainly in the western region. With the appearance of Master Atisha, Tibetan Buddhism reached its peak and gradually had a wide influence in the region. When thinking of Tibet, images of the red robes of Tibetan monks will first come to mind. Surely tourists coming here are familiar with the 5-colored prayer flags flying under the blue sky. The majestic red and white Potala Palace, or the majestic golden Buddha statues in the temple. Colors in Tibetan Buddhism have certain meanings. Red is related to vitality and preservation. Yellow symbolizes origin and renunciation. Green represents learning and knowledge in Buddhism. When visiting monasteries and palaces in the Tibetan region, visitors should learn and study the color symbols in Tibetan Buddhism to better understand the meanings behind Buddhist objects. When you want to study Tibetan Buddhism, visiting monasteries here is extremely necessary. Besides experiencing the unique culture of Tibet, visitors can admire the magnificent scenery of Tibetan architecture. Currently, there are about 1,700 monasteries and temples in Tibet. Some famous monasteries that you should visit. Potala Palace, one of the symbols of Tibet and recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. This is also the highest palace in the world. Jokong Temple, the most sacred and important monastery in Tibetan Buddhism. Drepung Monastery, once the largest monastery in the world with a record of having more than 10,000 monks. Sera Monastery, once noted for its special Buddhist controversy. Ganden Monastery, one of the first and largest Buddhist monasteries in Tibet. Samye Monastery, the first Buddhist monastery in Tibet. Palcho Monastery, the only Tibetan monastery with 3 sects in one temple. Tashilhunpo Monastery, home of the Panchen Lama in Shigatse. Rongbuk Monastery, the highest monastery in the world near Everest Base Camp. Sakya Monastery, the main monastery of the Sakya school. As a mysterious land with many things yet to be discovered, Tibet has its customs and taboos due to a long period of non-communication with the outside world. Therefore, when visiting Buddhist temples or monasteries, you need to pay attention to some important things to avoid unnecessary faults. First, when visiting a monastery in Tibet, if you encounter a stupa or perform a kora, circumnavigate it from left to right or clockwise. If you are at Bon Monastery, walk around it from right to left or counterclockwise. Next, except for the sightseeing spots on the itinerary, if you pass by any other monastery, you must ask the Lama in charge of that monastery for permission to enter. Finally, don't wear a hat, don't smoke, and don't touch Buddha statues or scriptures inside the monastery hall when visiting a monastery in Tibet. This is also the end of this video. Which information in the video interested you the most? Please comment below the video. If you enjoyed watching, do well to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Till next time, thanks for watching.